This brings me to the second sense of Black America, those institutions that have traditionally served as the foundation of Black communities in the United States. Because of white supremacy in this country, Black Americans have had to build institutions that both cultivated their civil capacities and served as a space to transmute values opposed to the value gap. Institutions like Black churches emerged in the 19th century because of the exclusion of Black Christians in predominantly white denominations. They had to sit in what were called Negro pews, had to receive communion last, and were not allowed to bury their dead in the church cemeteries, but also because of the desire to build independent Black communities. Black churches, social clubs, schools and colleges, newspapers, Masonic orders, and fraternal and soror organizations. They provided services in lieu of the government's failure to extend the full benefits of citizenship to Black people. When white schools refused to educate Black children, we took on the task ourselves. When white newspapers barely covered the news in our communities and around the Black world, or did so with prejudice, we created news sources that helped imagine a national community across region and class. These institutions, along with informal spaces of leisure and play, the places where we danced, played cards, and told jokes, and enjoyed the beauty of living life together, not only helped Black Americans to survive the racist country, they also gave us the courage to fight back. Think about how important these institutions were to the Black freedom struggle of the mid-20th century. Charles Hamilton Houston and his Black lawyers of Hollywood University devised a strategy to litigate Brown versus Board of Education. This could not have happened at Harvard Law School. It was Black students at North Carolina Architectural and Technical State University, not at Duke University, or the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, who decided to hold a sit-in with Woolworth Counter in Greensboro, and hundreds of other students at historically Black colleges and universities came to the South, joined them, radicalized the civil rights movement. Black churches offered networks of interconnection across the communities and states that enabled massive mobilization of people and resources to challenge racial segregation throughout the South. These institutions reflected the dreams and aspirations of Black people. Each of these institutions afforded African Americans spaces to deliberate, to think, to organize, to breathe. They are, or were, key sites for Black democratic life, especially in a country where Black lives aren't valued as other people's lives. They provided the elbow room to challenge white supremacy. But more than that, they comprised a safety net or backdrop for Black Americans living in a society defined by the value gap. A kind of hedge against believing that we were in fact what white people said we were. But now they are dying. The powerful Black press is a shell of what it was. Many historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, traditional incubators of Black creativity and leadership, can barely keep their doors open. Even Black churches, particularly those committed to the gospel of money, appear to have lost their way. They seem more concerned about wealth than justice. Some would have us believe that this is the natural consequence of the end of the civil rights journey. We're now full-fledged Americans, bowling along like everyone else. But I believe the loss of Black institutions is troubling because Black people still need them. America still needs them. Without these organizations and the forms of Black politics they facilitate by providing what social sciences call free spaces. Spaces where folks learn self-respect, public skills, and the value of civic engagement. We lost one of the crucial ways to close the value gap. These institutions enable a political vision of American democracy without white supremacy.